happened? Okay, I'm back. Hello, peeps. Janine here, favorite holistic Jersey girl and tech angel. So, getting started promptly at 8:15. This is also being recorded so that if you are not up, I pressed the wrong button again. So if you were not able to make it live, I know it's a Sunday evening, it's summer, there's a lot of things going on, but I wanted to do an info sesh ASAP Rocky, and I took a bunch of notes of where I wanted to start and what I really want to do with this. So I want to just share what homeopathy is, right? Because I learned that it is nature's medicine, it is God's medicine, and it helps your body trigger itself to heal. And so I was like, that's cool. Like, I think that's really cool, but like how? And so I looked up like how was homeopathy found? Why? So there's a guy, Handelman. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. It's Handelman. I took so many notes. I'm like, I don't even know. Look at my notes. Do you see it? I don't know. The lighting's weird. I took so many notes. I'm like, I don't know where I was supposed to start. But anyway, Handelman, and I don't know if that's how you say the name, but basically, I wish I could find the, oh, here, Samuel in 1796, Samuel Hahnemann. It's Hahnemann. He had a distrust for allopathic conventional medicine. He thought it was ineffective and dangerous, harmful, if you will. And I find that very intriguing because that was 1796 and it is 2024, and I feel the same way. It is ineffective and harmful. Now, I went to a 30th reunion from my high school last night, and is this video okay? Just see, I feel like the light is not right. But I heard story after story how people, my former classmates, were diagnosed with something and they were given a prescription to treat it, and the prescription made them sicker. So in one instance, a girl she was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and the doctor gave her this really strong round of antibiotics. Now, I don't know, I was on antibiotics every single month for sinus infections years ago. And I didn't know one of them. There's a couple of them that have black box warnings. Like, people have become paralyzed from it. It's strong stuff. And even the non-strong antibiotics wreak havoc on your gut. And so anyway, she was, heard Lyme disease. She was concerned. So she followed the doctor's orders and took the antibiotics. Her gut was messed up. It was torn up. She wasn't feeling well. Now she has the original symptoms of what she was diagnosed with Lyme, in addition now to stomach issues. Now, what happened one night was that it caused acid reflux, and it was inflamed. Her stomach was inflamed from the antibiotic, and the reflux went up, and it was in her chest area. So she went to the emergency room. She thought she was having a heart attack. The next day, she was not having a heart attack. It was a side effect from the stomach acids. The next day, she went to the doctor and said, I'm done. And the doctor's like, I really wish you would do it another week. She's like, I can't do it. And someone had asked her, well, what are you going to do? And she's like, oh, you just like live with it. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to butt in here. I mean, it was in the conversation. I'm like, I don't know if you're open to homeopathic or holistic, but there are protocols that you can take for Lyme disease. And so with Hahnemann in 1796, I agree. I'm not a doctor. He was a doctor. And he saw that there was this bark. I want to get the exact things here. What's the bark name? I really wish I would have had notes in order. That would have helped me here. And this was a really good note. Okay, so why was homeopathy created? He rejected mainstream medicine, and he said it was ineffective and harmful. He read that Peruvian bark, which is known as cinchona, also known as quinone or quinine, Quinine. If you don't recognize that name, that was one of the natural remedies for Smovid. I'm not going to mention names just in case. Smovid-19. He read that it cured malaria. And so he started to take it, and he felt the symptoms of malaria. And he formed this like cures like philosophy, which is now known as homeopathy. So what happens is, when you have an allergy, and let's say your eyes are burning and itchy, there is a remedy called Allium cepa that is from onion. So the same symptoms that you would get from an onion, like when you're cutting an onion, your eyes are red, irritated, tearing, they use that same type of material and they dilute it and then they shake it until the properties of the original are diluted from what would cause the issue to what will, I don't want to say use cure, but would remedy the issue. So I thought that was very interesting. And a quote from NHS in UK said, some people who use homeopathy may see improvements in their health due to the placebo effect. Now, what I find ironic about that is who cares? Who cares if it's the placebo effect or not? What does that matter? You're still better and an improvement from where you were. A lot of people who take mainstream medicine not only have the symptoms of the original ailment, but now the side effects. So if it's a placebo and there's no side effects, I say that's a win. That's me. That's me. So there is such thing as approving, and approving is kind of what I was just saying when he was testing this malaria. If you don't have the thing that you're treating, you will prove, and this is not in all cases, and it's not severe. I've proved like once or twice, you get the symptoms of what you're trying to address. It just means you have to take a different remedy. You're not taking the right remedy. It's like, it's really not, a big deal. And back in the day, I don't know what year this was, but life insurance offices used to give a 10% discount to homeopathic patients because they believed they lived longer. Now, homeopathy has great success. It's had and has still great success. But in 1903, again, I wish I had notes in order. In 1903, here it is. Allopaths, regular mainstream conventional doctors, were incorporating homeopathy. And in 1903, the AMA, American Medical Association, they were not against their will, but they didn't really want to include the homeopaths in it, but they did in 1903. And then they were invited to join like through the FDA and all this stuff. And I don't know what happened. Like that was like 1939-ish. I don't know what happened where it didn't kind of take off. So it started to kind of diminish. And my theory, I don't know if this is not fact, this is my theory. It's affordable. There's no side effects. And it actually does what it says it's going to do. So what does that mean to you? To me, that's a huge, that's a triple threat. It's affordable, so they're not going to make any money. Like you're not going to make money off the medicines. You can make money off of your time. Like if you're a doctor doing a consult, you can make money that way, but you're not going to make money, on the remedy itself. It's a couple bucks, a couple dollars. The second thing is that there's no side effects. Now with modern medicine, a lot of what the money and they have recurring customers, recurring patients, because not only do you have the headaches, but now you have the GI issues, and then you have this. And so you pay for the tests, then you pay for the labs, the blood work, the this, the that, like it's a recurring, that is passive income in the medical field. And the third being, it does what it says it does. It's almost like, and this isn't, I don't believe this, but that's what I believe is the threat to it. It's like they feel they're not as needed because you take the medicine, it works, and you move on. Or you can do it yourself. Like once you get the guidance from the doctor, you don't really need them for that specific ailment. Like you just take the remedy and you move on. So that's why I feel like it's a triple threat personally. So what I wanted to do, and I'm thinking of different ways I'm going to do this. And I think what I'm going to do is give the option. I'm going to have in-person in New Jersey because I think in-person and community is very important. I'm also going to do ebooks, e-guides, because there's some people who prefer in person. There's some people who prefer Zooms. There's some people who prefer not to be on a Zoom, but listen to a replay. And then there's other people who just rather read something or maybe listen to like a quick video. Like, so I'm going to be catering to everyone. So I'm going to be starting the in-persons soon. I think over the summer, it's a little too hectic. People are very busy. There's kids going back to college, parents who are setting all that up. Like it's a lot. So I think what I'm going to do for the summer is basically record different things and write up different guides and distribute the information that way. But anyway, for this, what my goal is to help people tap back into their mind body connection. So not to say I have a headache, let me take an Advil. And that, listen, we've all been there, right? You have a headache and you have things to do. You don't have the time to think about, okay, is it the left side or right side? Where is it coming from, the back or because homeopathy is all about addressing the symptoms. And a lot of times where I take homeopathy and I take it a step further because I believe in energy and working energy. And I believe that our body is speaking to us. And if we don't listen, it gets louder and louder and louder. And what louder equates to is sicker and sicker and sicker. And so if we don't pay attention to the subtle signs, we're typically backed up into the corner. And so I was talking to a mother who said her daughter was having stomach issues and she had acne, and she said the acne was because of stress, and the stomach is not because of stress, because that situation that that person was going through is no longer there. And there was constipation. And I looked up, one of the books I highly recommend to own is Louise Hay's Heal Your Life. And constipation is basically holding on. If you think about what your body does, it's a direct, your body and your mind, your emotions, your soul, it's all one. And a lot of people, they get tested and they're trying to treat this one thing. So maybe they have a mark on their face and they're trying to treat that one mark. Well, where does that mark come from? Like, things don't just pop up. Everything is here to help us, to teach us. And when something pops up on me, I'm like, thank you for showing me that. Like, I had horrible cramps and I took arnica cramps last night. It's like muscle spasms like in my leg. And it's because I've been working out really hard and I'm not stretching. And so if I don't stretch, it's just that pain is just going to get louder. And so what people do typically is they'll take a pain pill or they'll do something to numb it or to suppress it. What homeopathy does is you trigger your body to heal it. So why I like to just say, I'm not just taking homeopathy pellets, I'm also listening to my body. So in addition to taking the arnica leg cramps homeopathy, I have to stretch. I have to listen and do the things that my body wants me to do. So there's another example where I was having blurry up close vision and my eye was getting really red. And so after a while, I tried to like treat it and I was like, I don't really know what it is. Like, I just want to make sure it's not like an eye disease. And I got it tested and he was like, it's eye strain. And he gave me readers. It's a bug in here. And so I was reading up about readers and how they're not great for you. So just like if you have carpal tunnel and you keep doing the thing that creates the carpal tunnel and you get surgery, but you continue doing the thing that gives you carpal tunnel, you're not healing it. You're not listening. You have to take breaks. You have to, listen to your body. I'm not saying to quit your job, but when you start typing and you're at it, take a break every 30 minutes to an hour. Get up and walk around, give a break, stretch, do something, put a nice lotion on, there's nice arnica gels you could put on, do something to heal your body than to say, I know, I'm sorry, like we're working really hard and we're going to take a break now and give it a rest. And so what was happening with me was I was on my phone a lot and I work in IT and then I'm studying homeopathy. I'm reading homeopathy. I'm always on my phone or the computer and my eyes were strained. And what readers do is like, so the ciliary muscle, I hope I'm saying that right. I think it is ciliary muscle gets locked up when you're reading or you're constantly on your phone for long periods, which most people are, and you're like this, right? All the time. You have this thing on all the time. Your eyes get strained and it starts to get blurry, but there's a couple things that you can do. First is take breaks. You can't just continue. So what readers do is you bypass your body saying enough, right? When you start getting blurry and your eyes getting red, take a break. You don't need to be on your phone for 14 out of the 24 hours. Take a break. That's what your eyes are telling you. That's number one. Number two is with that muscle being locked up and it's saying take a break, there are also exercises that you can do. There's homeopathy you could take, but really eye strain is saying take a break. So we don't always have to we don't have to get readers and do all these things. We could just honor our body. And I do eye exercises, which I'll go into either a guide or another series here. But basically what you do is you take whatever you're reading, or you could take a pad or with a text on it. So I have a pad with text on it here. And so you look at it, so you move it away to where you can see it really clear and you bring it up to where it's blurry and then bring it away. It basically you're just training your eyes And it's simple. You don't have to buy anything. You have to do anything. So I think the first thing, with things like this is listen to your body. And I think that we've gotten so far from that. People just take a pill. They want to take a serum, put a serum on, put readers on. People just don't want to listen to their body. It does. It takes time. You have to really listen. You have to know what your body's telling you. And sometimes, yeah, it takes a little bit and it will get louder. That was one example I wanted to give you. Another thing is our binaural beats. So I am transitioning from whatever, like mainstream to all natural. And the other thing that I use is binaural beats. So if there's eye strain, or I'm going through menopause and there's heart palpitations, or there's different things that happen to your body, I don't just go for a therapy. I don't just get replacement. I don't just go for medication. I listen to my body and say, okay, well, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take some breaths. I'm going to listen to binaural beats. I make sure that I'm active. I make sure that I'm, drinking enough water, eating the right foods, because your lifestyle really impacts everything. When I moved away from processed foods to fresh, I could feel a huge difference. When I move my body more than sitting around, I could feel a huge difference. So these are the things where, yes, okay, this is a homeopathy series and you're learning homeopathy, but what I really want you to learn and take away from this is learning to tap into your body, your mind-body connection, strengthening that. Okay, so the next thing I was going to go over is so treating the symptoms versus typical prescriptions, right? So an example that Joette gives is Joette Calabrese is who I studied under, and then I have a local homeopath in New Jersey who I go to. So Joette's example is when the fire alarm is going off and someone takes the battery out, that's like taking a prescription, right? So you've gotten rid of the loud noise, but now what if there's a fire? Like, is there smoke? Is there fire? Where homeopathy looks at the smoke and the fire. It looks at the root cause, and you don't have to go back a million years. You could just go by the symptom and different things for cough. What kind of cough? Is it dry? Is it wet? Is it frequent? Is it when you're laying down? Is it when you're sitting up? And then they have something that's basically like Google for homeopathy. It's a materia medica. You look up the symptoms. I just literally look it up online. And your recommended different remedies to have. So things that I'm going to be offering you going forward are what type of homeopathy should you have on hand? What type of homeopathy should you have when you travel? Like when I travel, in addition to the homeopathy, I always have activated charcoal. Activated charcoal, because I always had a sensitive stomach. If you eat something that's bad or contaminate or does not agree with you and your stomach goes haywire, activated charcoal binds the toxins and eliminates them. And literally most times within one dose, you're feeling much better. So that and clean, filtered, boiled water, hot water. Whenever I drink that clears everything. So those are, like, again, I said, the main topic is homeopathy, but there's so many other different things. And it's about learning what works for your body. Because some people say, oh, I did that, it didn't work. Well, just find the next remedy, find the next thing. Because everything that you need is here. It's God's medicine. It's just bringing you back home to yourself. That's all it is. Okay, so next thing. Okay, so it also works. I have Mensa sitting next to me. It also works for dogs. Joette treats her trees with homeopathy. It works for dogs and cats and for farm animals. A lot of people who have land and animals, they treat their farm animals with it also. So if she had an allergic reaction, I use Apis on her. She was, I think, bit by something in my old house I guess when she was in the grass, and she had hives all on her belly. And normally I would rush to the vet and, they do whatever they do. And okay, I don't know what she had in her system. Now I know for an allergy or hives, I was giving her Apis 200 and I just mixed it in water. And then I had a little syringe that I put in her mouth every 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And then when it would lessen, it would be every hour. And it took like 2 days. 2 or 3 days for her to be completely clear from it. But I feel more confident knowing I know what it is. And I know that she's not going to have a side effect from it. I don't know what the vet gives her. I also found if you have a pet, I found a homeopathic holistic vet. And she is a big proponent of not putting chemicals on your dog, like replacement for frontline, or replacement for the flea and tick, replacement for heartworm, or like not replacement for heartworm, but really studying where is heartworm, treating it differently. So I don't want to get too much into heartworm, but I am working on the flea and tick, and moving away from frontline, because there are neurological side effects, and there's dogs who have seizures and who have passed from it, and I just don't want to, I don't want to go down that road. I really don't. So what I'm gonna also say about homeopathy is, I Googled, because I was Googling it, because I know all the book things, but I know for me, I like to learn from like real life experience. I like to learn from stories, things that have happened. So basically homeopathy stimulates the healing responses. And it's, like I said, like attracts like, or like cures like. So it's administering substances that mimic the symptoms. So I mentioned that before with the malaria or with the onion, things like that. So what else was I going to? One thing I wanted to recommend to you was the documentary Heal. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend it, or to follow Dr. Joe Dispenza. He was running, or he was in one portion of the triathlon, and a SUV hit him and he broke his spine. And the doctors basically said, you're not going to walk again. You have to get surgery, but you're still not going to walk again. And I think he was a chiropractor at that point. And I don't know how he had this transition, but I guess through prayer and what he knew about the body, because he was a chiropractor, he said, I'm going to work on reconstructing my spine, like visualizing it. And you could say this placebo effect, right? There's no scientific evidence of this working. And he said, I'm going to sit here anyway. I have nothing else to do. I might as well work on it. And he would reconstruct his spine. And now, he prayed to God and said, if you help me heal, I will spend the rest of my life helping other people heal. And that's just one component of the documentary. There's so many stories of people who have really changed their life. And that's one element of this, right? That's like the mind body connection is one element. There's a lot of different elements, but that's like the foundation. Once you know what's possible, once you see people healing from everything and anything, you don't fear anymore. And that was a big thing. And through Schmovid-19 was like, they were selling fear so that they can, provide the solution. And that's created a whole other host of issues. And that was when I really learned, I'm like, I need to take my health into my hands. So I never tested for it, but I had woken up and I was like, I felt like a truck hit me. I was like, I have the flu. And I took Acicillum. So Acicillum is for flu. It's from boron. I don't know how, by the grace of God, I had it in my house. I took a couple doses and I sweat it out. I had sinus for like a month. I could not shake the sinus, but I could deal with the sinus. The flu, no. So Acicillum, that is one, definitely look it up. It's from boron. Always have that. Always have that in your house, because if you assume, and the other thing I'm going to tell you is, as soon as you feel something, because I think in 2024, things are very different. I think back in the day, you can kind of allow your body to fight it off. I think we're dealing with a lot of bioengineered things right now. And I think we need to support our body as much as possible. So my advice to you is to have things on hand, which I will get into in other, series and videos and guides. Have as much as possible on hand so that you don't have to worry about how am I going to treat this. And number two is, as soon as you start to feel something, you're like, oh, this feels like a sinus infection. This feels like I'm getting a migraine. Don't wait. Don't wait. If you feel like you have the symptoms of a flu, take Acicillum. Like, nip everything in the bud. Don't wait. Like, give your body the best chance to fight it off, because it wants to, but you have to support it. Okay, talking to your body. Okay, so the other thing I just wanted to say, if I'm coming across like I'm anti-doctor, I'm not. I go to the doctor, but I go to different types of doctors. So I go to homeopaths. I go to integrative doctors who's OBGYN, but also basically a primary. She does my lab work. And how again, there's all these different signs. I had gone to a GP in general to get the script, but she didn't have a lab in her office. So she sent it out. I went to get my blood work. It went to her, and it also went to my holistic integrative OBGYN. So my GP was like, I want you to come in. Like, I think she thought my cholesterol was high or whatever. And she scared me. And then I spoke to my integrative doctor. She's like, it's fine. Like, you have to look at the whole picture. Like, they don't look at the whole picture. They look at, okay, if it's 0 to 100 and 100 is bad and you're at a number, we need to put you on a pill. Like, no, how about we change lifestyle? How about we look at the whole body? So that's when I also said, I don't need to go to the GP anymore. Like, there's no reason to go to GP. Like, I need to go to specialists. I need to go to certain people who know what they're talking about with regards to the whole body. So even with a chiropractor, I had been to a couple of chiropractors and it felt like a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. That's what, excuse the analogy, but it felt like you go in, they would crack this, that, okay, bye-bye. Like, hello, did you even ask me what's wrong? What am I feeling? Why I'm here? They take x-rays and then they like do their routine and then they bill your insurance and you're done. And so I was like, I don't want that. So I met a really amazing chiropractor locally and she spends time with you. She stretches you. She manipulates things. She massages you. She looks at what the issue is and she treats your whole body. So I go to doctors, but I go to doctors who actually understand the whole picture and not just want to address, oh, this number is high on your blood work, let's give you a pill. No, we're not. We're not doing that because I look at all, and you should too, look at the medicines and what the side effects are. And then look at alternatives. Look at the natural alternative because there always is. There's always a natural alternative, and I'll leave that there. Okay, so different things like cold, flu, pneumonia, schmovid. These are things that you've probably heard of over and over and over again, right? So I had a colleague who didn't feel well and he just took NyQuil at night. And so he had a cold, kept taking NyQuil, wasn't getting better, turned to the flu, kept taking NyQuil, didn't get better. Caught COVID-19, kept taking NyQuil. He was like, oh, I can do it. I can, I'm just going to rest. Turned into pneumonia and he had to be hospitalized. So that's why I'm saying, if you feel like you have a cold coming on, get Boron's Cold Calm. It's Cold Calm, CALM, Cold Calm. Just take, they're little pellets. You put them under your tongue. They dissolve in 2 minutes. Take it and nip it in the bud. So let's just say you miss it, right? You miss the boat. You miss the cold boat. You move to the flu. Flu comes. Take the acetylene. We're not going to get into the advanced pneumonia right now. This is an information session. It's just like a general overview. So I'm not going to go all the way up to like worst case scenario here. But what I want to leave you with, because it's getting to 8:45 now. It's getting to 30 minutes. I want to leave you with how important it is to understand the confidence that comes with this. When I watched Joette. She's every Monday night, she comes on live for 30 minutes or 20 minutes. She has a blog that she updates. You could literally go to Joette Calabrese and anything, right? So the confidence that she has in this and just knowing your body and how she doesn't test everything. She doesn't do the standard routine test. She doesn't believe in that. And I think she's 70 something. She raised kids on this, without antibiotics, without anything that they teach you have to do. And we'll get into the standards, some of the standard testings that I used to do and alternatives for it. And all of this is not, I should have said this in the beginning and I'll put it on the caption. This is not medical advice. This is educational. This is for you to look up and see if this is something you want to delve deeper into. Do you want to take classes? Do you want to study it? Do you want to read about it? Do you want to listen to it? It's about learning your mind-body connection, because you can take any study guide. You can take a study guide. You can read about it online. You can go to Joette's blog. You can do whatever you want, right? What I'm offering is an opportunity for you to delve deep into who you are, what makes you tick, because there's a lot of times, and you'll read about it in Louise Hay's book, anger creates dis-ease in the body. Anxiety creates dis-ease in the body. So there's different things, and I wrote it down, but I mean, it's pretty obvious, like emotions, your mental state, and physical things, right? So you could, let's just say, stub a toe and you're like, oh my God, it hurts so bad. I don't know what to do. Is it broken? Is it black and blue? Is it bruised? And like you're obsessed, like you're and the throbbing gets, more and more intense. Or you could be like, I stubbed my toe. I'm gonna relax, maybe I'll massage it a little bit, put some, whatever. And you keep it moving and you're doing something else. That's a mindset. That's a mindset. There's a lot of people who are hypochondriacs. I'm one of them. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I used to get very nervous about different things that would come up, but learning this and understanding my body, I don't have that fear anymore. Everyone, like, things happen to everyone. Physical things happen to everyone. I'm going through menopause. So that's a whole thing. People go through different emotions. And so what happens is, and Joette told this story, which I think is phenomenal, is this guy, Michael, when he was having anxiety, so they gave him Valium, and the Valium created heart issues. So then he went to a cardiologist who couldn't find anything. So then they said, go for these tests. Couldn't find anything there. They put him on something else for the heart palpitations that created stomach issues. So then he went to a gastro doctor. And the gastro doctor said that he's getting an ulcer, but it's a side effect from the first medicine he had. So he was going from like a psychiatrist to a cardiologist to a gastro doctor, and the pill was causing all these different things. They wanted him to continue taking different things, and it was just creating more and more ailments, to the point he had, damage. He had damage in his body. These pills were doing damage to his body because he had anxiety. And it's like, why not just treat? You don't have to get to the root cause. Maybe you don't know the root cause. Maybe you're afraid of something. You don't know why you're afraid of it, but you could take something homeopathically to trigger your body to heal it, to take the edge off, and it's a natural, no side effect homeopathic solution. So I just wanted to provide that overview. I'm exactly at 32 minutes. What I'm going to do is, and I made some notes, I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to be going through different, so I'm going to be offering different guides for you, different videos, all these different things, for cold, flu, headaches, different pain, spasms, cramps, injury, vision issues, dental issues, GI, stomach, acid reflux, nauseousness, sinus allergies, building your confidence with taking your health back, determining what the symptoms are, stocking up on things, what travel homeopathy you should have, for menopause, chemical sensitivities, how to treat your pets, your dogs, your cats, how to treat skin issues and blisters and boils, asthma, hypertension, paying attention to your body so it doesn't go to acute from chronic, aches and pains, ingrown hair and nails, maybe getting glass in your hand, your foot, ears ache, swimmer's ear, infections, fevers, bites, car, motion sickness, grief, sadness, fear, anxiety, cravings, strep, bronchitis, not having enough energy, not being able to sleep. So all those different things, and I'm going to build and build and build it out so that I have a full arsenal of things that not only do you know how to treat it, but I want you to be able to do this for yourself. It's not for you to come to classes forever. It's not for you to buy my guides forever or whatever. It's not for that. It's for you to understand it so you can pick it up and then start helping yourself and your family and your pets. So I hope you got some value. If you did, please let me know. I'm Janine at janinebernetti.tech. I am on Facebook and Instagram primarily. And I'm also on YouTube, and I have a holistic podcast as well. And I'm going to be sharing out all these different guides and things. If you want more information, please drop 101 or message me 101 with what you want information on, and I'd be happy to help. Have a good rest of your day or night wherever you're listening. Ciao, ciao.